this 2-week live. Very, very exciting to be here with you today. I'm afraid I've got the screen up today because I want to share with you in the screen today the key information I'll be going through. So I'm afraid you're not going to be able to see my face, but I'm super excited to be here with you. I'm really so glad that you've come to join me in this Facebook group because I know you'll get a lot of value for your own personal business, and I know that you will get some great outcomes that will help you to thrive as you move forward. So welcome today, and I see I've already got a couple of viewers. So if anybody does want to ask any questions as we go through, you're more than welcome to send some messages within the group, and I'll try and answer it as we go through. But if I don't get a chance to answer it as we go through in the live, you can leave the messages and they will still stay there. The comments will still stay in the group and I'll respond to them. And also, if you're watching this after the live today, then you'll still be able to put information in the... Oh, Luke, you're saying it's quite low. Let me see if I can put the sound up a little bit. It should be all set. I've just been on another meeting, so... Is anybody else having problems with volume? Let me set my settings. Anybody else? I've got a couple of viewers at the moment, can't hear very well, my volume is up. Ooh, okay. This is where I wish I was... No, that's sending the volume up my end. Tell you what, I'll put the microphone closer to me. Sorry if it starts clunking. Right, is that better, guys? Can you hear me a bit better now? I'll wait and get a response because I don't want to get started and find that. Okay, all right, I'll stay super close to the microphone and hope it works. And if people are challenging with the volume, then I will might troubleshoot and might put it on come back a little bit later. But if you can hear me okay with the volume and the microphone as it is, I'll stick with it. That's great. Thank you, Tina and Luke, for that feedback. And I'll make sure the sound is a bit better for the next time we go online. So today we're going to go through several bits. Like I say, I'm afraid you can't see my face because I get to either share the screen with you or I get to share my face, and I thought you'd rather see the screen. So a little bit about me to get started. I understand the challenges you're facing in your business. Yeah, Tina, you're not able to see me, I'm afraid, because I can only either share the screen or I can share myself. So unfortunately today, but in the next couple of sessions, you'll be able to see me online. But today it's just the screen. Can you see the screen that I'm sharing? Cool. Hopefully you can see the screen. So a little bit about me. I understand the challenges of setting up a home care business. I understand the challenges of being an independent support worker because I was there myself in 2015. So I've been in the disability industry now for over 30 years, and I know firsthand all of the issues that you're possibly going through at the moment. I will have been through at some point over my last 30 years. So I set up an NDIS business in 2015, and I actually sold that business at the beginning of last year, and at its peak there was over 170 staff and probably I think around 450 participants. I'm not 100% sure of how many participants were there in the end, but I'm totally passionate about building a successful business, and I have years of skill in the disability, aged care, training background, as well as having completed all the audits over a 7-year process within my own business. So I completely understand what auditors are looking for as well. And a big part of the success in my business was the systems and processes that my husband developed in his business, Kaizenate. And that's where My Care Assistant, that's where the software platform that I'm going to show you today has come from. So it's actually bespokely set up just for independent support workers and micro businesses like yourselves. So today we're going to look at My Care Assistant, but we're also going to look at a few key things around My Care Assistant in relation to compliance. So you will get to see today how effective My Care Assistant is to streamline your administration and set you up as a compliant independent support worker. So some of you may already be NDIS registered, and some of you might not be registered, might be considering being registered. Either way, it's really great to set yourself up for success with My Care Assistant and be as compliant as possible. So today we're going to go through My Care Assistant platform and the features that I'd like you to start looking at, and I'll show you how to set yourself up with an account. I'll show you how to showcase your skills and be compliant in your business and how you can do this effectively with My Care Assistant. I'll also show you the other tips and tricks and ways in which My Care Assistant can maximize your efficiency and help you to stay organized. And if you want to ask any questions as we go through, you're more than welcome to ask the questions and I will answer them as we go. And like I say, if we're unable to do the answers as I go, I will very much respond to them by the end or just shortly after we have the live today. So those of you that have been online with me for the last month will know that I've been talking about the NDIS review, which happened at the end of last year. The reason why I'm coming back to this again is the importance of what was highlighted in the review. So whether you're registered or not, you need to be making sure that you are familiar with the things that have come up in the review to help your business to grow and thrive in the coming months. We're awaiting further information that's going to be coming in June in relation to the NDIS review, July, in relation to the NDIS review, but I know that there are things that everyone can start doing today to make sure that they meet any compliance changes or just to demonstrate their compliance if they're already registered in a much better way. So the problem that was identified was good quality care staff who are qualified and experienced to know what to do. And the solution that the review is looking for an answer to, and they're looking to implement, is that they want worker screening processes to be better, and they want minimum online training to ensure workers understand their obligations. So I will cover off both of those things today so you can walk away making sure that you will have met the criteria that they're saying they want the solution to. They also want to improve the quality of services and ensure appropriate safeguards are in place. And through the next 2 weeks, I'll teach you about how you can learn more about these topics to make sure that you can tick the box and say that you are improving the quality of services and ensuring appropriate safeguards as well. Now, a note worth making is that there are changes in July that are anticipated. They have said they will introduce gradually any changes that they say they want to put in place. So we have got plenty of time to get ready. So don't panic if you are concerned at this moment in time. So in relation to improving the quality of services, you need to be understanding that you are providing quality services. Now, as a minimum, you need to have done your NDIS worker e-learning and your worker screening or working with children check if applicable. Anybody that's online at the moment, if you want to just let me know in the comments whether or not this is, have you kind of guys got these all set up? Are you done and dusted? Have you got all of these things in place, or is this on your to-do list, do you think? Let me know in the comments. And while I'm waiting for those comments to come up, I'll explain a little bit about the NDIS worker e-learning. This is completely free. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I will put a link into the group so that you can easily connect and complete that NDIS worker e-learning. Ah, awesome. Luke, you've completed most of it. Well done. You've done it. Tina, well done. Deborah, you've done it. Awesome. That's fantastic. So you guys are already well on top. Now, though, I would expect that that is going to be a minimum requirement for the NDIS when they announce the changes in July. Have any of you done the supporting effective communication or supporting safe and enjoyable meals? No, they're not new, Liz. They have been around for a good couple of years. There's one of them is newer. The I think it's new worker NDIS induction came out as a result of COVID. So there's more specific infection control information in there, but they have been around for quite a period of time. They're completely free. Yes, Liz, they are the same as worker orientation, but on the link that I will share in the group, there's about 4 different e-learnings. So that's great, Tina. You've done effective communication and you've done supporting safe. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I would definitely recommend as an absolute minimum that you do the worker orientation model and the new worker NDIS induction module. Those, I would say, are your absolute bare minimum essentials. And I would strongly encourage you to do the supporting effective communication and supporting safe and enjoyable meals. Those of you in the registration space, there was a big change about 2 years ago, 18 months ago, around supporting safe and enjoyable meals. And every provider had to jump on the bandwagon of a policy around supporting meal times because of the risk of choking. So I'd really, really encourage you, especially if you have people who are maybe more aging or more physical disabilities, or there's any risk around choking, then I definitely encourage that supporting safe and enjoyable meals, because it's around the risks associated with choking hazards whilst eating meals. And the other requirement is the worker screening or working with children check, or whichever's applicable in your area. I'm hoping that everyone's going to come back and say they've all got their worker screening. If you are, totally, Liz, I will share the links once at the end of this live. I'll share the links in the group so that everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. But give me a thumbs up or let me know if you've got your worker screening in place, and if you are working with children, the applicable one for your state would also be required. This is an absolute minimum standard. So this ensures that anybody that you go out to support knows that you are safe to work with them. And it's really concerning how many people don't have this worker screening in place. So the NDIS worker e-learning is all completely free, and you will get a certificate at the end. The worker screening check does cost, I think it's around the $130 mark, but it's tax deductible. So I think it's around the $130 mark. So you really, really do need to get that. Awesome. That's great that you've got that done, Deborah. And hopefully the rest of you will make sure you have that. At an absolute minimum, you might be able to get away with a police check. There is talk about police checks, but my suggestion is to be prepared. And with the worker screening as well, if the government suddenly says in July, we need evidence of the worker screening by X date, I can pretty much guarantee you that website will go down, and it will be a very stressful, almost impossible process of getting it done by the deadline. So because I know I've experienced that a lot in my business in the past, when information gets changed, suddenly everyone is scrabbling and trying to get themselves compliant. So I really want to educate you so that you're prepared and one step ahead of your competitors, because then you can say, hey, look, everybody, here's my qualifications. I'm set to go. I'm safe. Please work with me. So please, please, please do these things if you haven't done them already. And you must comply with the NDIS Code of Conduct. Give me a thumbs up if you'd like to around whether you've seen the NDIS Code of Conduct, that you're familiar with it, that you understand it. The NDIS Code of Conduct you must abide by. Whether you're registered or unregistered, it is a requirement, a legal requirement that you abide by the NDIS Code of Conduct. So if you're not familiar with it, please make yourself familiar with it. And again, I will be providing a link in relation to the Code of Conduct. So those are the really big, important things that if you do nothing else today, you do those things and make sure you have them, because it keeps you safe and it keeps the people you're supporting safe and it keeps you compliant as well, because there's a lot of people out there who are not compliant at the moment. Awesome. It's great to hear that you guys understand the Code of Conduct. Thank you so much for that feedback. So that was my top tip number 1, to get those bits and bobs done. My top tip number 2 is to sign up for my Care Assistant account. Now, I've seen several of you have already done it. There appear to be a few people that haven't quite done it yet. That's okay. Don't panic just yet. But please follow the instructions to get yourself set up with a My Care Assistant account. Now, I've got to flick a switch internally in the My Care Assistant account to give you access to what we're going to be using in the next 2 weeks. So if what I show you now in the videos, if you've signed up in the last hour or you sign up after this live, you might need to nudge me if I haven't seen it to update you so that you can do all of these things in My Care Assistant. So please reach out. I'll show you in a moment, a little while, what I mean by that. But you've all got access. Please sign up for your My Care Assistant account, and I'll be showing you very shortly how valuable My Care Assistant is and what you can use it for. So my top tip number 3, which if you were with me on the lives a few weeks ago, is to have your own company policies. Give me a thumbs up or let me know if you've got some company policies in place in your business, or if you've got nothing, or if it's something that's on your bucket list. So that's awesome. That's fantastic that you've signed up, Luke. I will flick the switch for you. So give me a thumbs up or let me know if you've got policies in place for your independent support worker business, or if you've got none, that's absolutely fine. I can help you with that as we go through the next couple of weeks. But you really do, that's absolutely fine, Deborah. You really do. It's not it's not a legal requirement. So if any of you are on the NDIS Facebook groups, of which there are a few, a lot of people are saying you must get X policies, you must get Y policies, you must get Z policies. Nobody has said anywhere what an independent, unregistered person must have in place in relation to policies and procedures. So don't be panicking just yet, but I will be sharing with you in the foreseeable future how you can stay ahead and how you can be prepared in relation to documents. But some of you might have already accessed my emergency management plan. My amazing administrator, Melissa, if you've already accessed it from me, it looks pretty boring and bog standard. My amazing administrator has made it look super sexy, so I will make sure you get the super sexy version in the group in the next 12 to 24 hours or so. But I definitely recommend having the emergency management plan, because that's completely free and you have it at your disposal. And I'll go through a couple of key things that I think you'll probably need as a starting point if you haven't already got them as we go through today. So the other thing I've got as well is I've got a company policy for independent support workers. So I'll share that one with you, and I will hopefully make that a little bit prettier for you as well. But it's totally good to go as it is at the moment. So even without being pretty, it's totally good to go. So fantastic, Tina. I will post those in the group so that people have access to those two things. Not a problem at all. So we talk about staying ahead of the competition. I've talked about the possibility of registration changes, and I've been in this industry now since it started. I was in a trial site area. The Hunter region was a trial site. I was in that trial site region. I've seen all the changes from the NDIS. I've prepared for multiple audits, and honestly, they always asked for the same key things. So although we don't know for sure what's going to be happening, I know what the key things are that you're going to need if you want to really fly and excel in your business. So stick around if you want to utilize my brain cells in relation to that. If you are, I don't think anybody in the group live at the moment is considering, possibly one person is maybe considering the kind of getting started as an independent support worker. But if any of you are still not 100% sure if you're set, capable and ready to be an independent support worker, then I'd really encourage you to do Are You Ready to Be an Independent Support Worker quiz. Again, I will put that into the links for you, and that will give you prompt you with questions and really tell you the answers as well. Not only have I given you the quiz, but I've given you the answers, so you'll be able to check yourself against how ready you are, and maybe if there's any areas that you might want to consider extending and working on to make sure that you are absolutely the best version of yourself you can be. So I'll put that link in as well. If anybody is sitting in that place of early days of independent support worker, then, and even if you have started as an independent support worker, it might be a good quiz for you to do just to double check that you've got all the things in place that you need. But you should be able to get an overview. If you follow me in the next 2 weeks, you should get the key things. I will be talking about them at different times within the next 2 weeks. So I've put down here the minimum requirements for being an independent support worker, which I won't go through now, but they come out of the quiz, and I've explained to you about the e-learning. You do really need to have some type of service agreement in place. I'm aware that some people who are working independently don't have an agreement in place, and I would really, really recommend you have a service agreement in place. Let me know in the comments if you've got something in place, if you don't even know where to start, so I can just kind of gauge where you're at with regards to a service agreement. Within that service agreement, you really need to have basic information. What are your rights? What are your responsibilities? What is the participants' rights? What are their responsibilities? How can people work with you? How do they sign up with you? What are the costs of working with you? What's your cancellation policy? What's your payment terms? All of what to do if they want to make a complaint about you. Awesome, Luke. That's great that you've got that in place. No idea where to start, Deborah? Not a problem at all. I can definitely help with that, and I will be covering that, believe it or not, at some point in the next couple of weeks. So don't panic if you don't have it, but you really do need a service agreement in place. It's a bit like if you engage somebody to do pretty complex stuff for you and you haven't got an agreement in place with you, what happens when it goes wrong? This service agreement is for you to refer to and say, okay, this is what we agreed, and this is what we're going to do if we find we can't agree with the outcome. So I will cover off that service agreement side of things in the third session this week. Well, that will be next Tuesday. So a week tomorrow, I'll be looking at the service agreement side of things. So the great thing as well is to prepare for possible registration, you need all these things in the same place. So Liz, you've just asked about relevant experience and qualifications. I'll be covering that off a little bit. I'll tell you what, I'll answer it just now, but it was going to be covered off a bit later. But at this moment in time, there is no requirement to be qualified. My understanding is that you just need to have ABNs, workers screening, relevant insurance, all of those types of things. All you need to do is collect this information together. If the government comes out and says in June, July time, you must be qualified in X, they will give you a large period of time to get that done. And I would almost bet money on it. And I'll tell you why. So in the year 2000 in UK, I was living in UK at the time, the government did a very similar thing, and they said that 60% of the workforce needed to have a qualification, an NVQ qualification, which is similar to the Certificate 3. And they gave 6 years for it to be in place. So that experience from the UK tells me, yes, they might stipulate that people are qualified in July, but they will also give a large period of time for people to prepare for that qualifications. And the other side of things as well is that they are in need of you almost more than you're in need of them. And what do I mean by that? We have an aging population. We have a large number of people with disabilities in Australia, and there is not a big enough workforce to cater for all the individuals that need care. So the government is going to have to reflect whatever decision they make. They're going to have to manage that in relation to their outcomes. So don't panic about qualifications. I'm not saying if you want to go get qualified and get it started now, by all means, I'm not going to say don't do it. And please don't come back to me, in 6 months' time. It's entirely your decision what you want to do. But based on my previous experience, they will not be expecting people to do it overnight. Okay? I hope that has reassured you a little bit, Liz. So by putting all the information together into My Care Assistant, you will be able to absolutely showcase all your skills. You will be able to share your skills with people, with external people, whether they're potential participants or external bodies that want to see your credentials. You will be able to share that, through My Care Assistant. So I will show you how to do that very shortly. So what I'm going to do now, and hopefully it will work, is I'm actually going to log into My Care Assistant and show you a little bit of an overview of the platform. So for those of you that have already registered, well done. For those that haven't quite done it yet, I'd really encourage you to set yourself up with a completely free account and see how My Care Assistant can support you in your business. So I'll show you by going in, clicking and signing in. And let's see what's happening. It's being a little bit slow at the moment. Here we go. I obviously hadn't clicked the button correctly. So My Care Assistant is designed to be on both your desktop and on your mobile device. So as you can see here at the moment, it's on my desktop, but you can just as easily, I'll show you here with the press of a button, I'll show you here, this is exactly what it looks like on a mobile device. So you can use it anywhere. So I'd really encourage you to sign up for your My Care Assistant, and you'll have been given the login, the website that you click in. My suggestion is that if you're using it more on your phone or if you're using it on your desktop, that you actually add it to your bookmarks if it's on your desktop, and whether you're Apple or Android, I know will be slightly different. But save it to your home screen on your phone or possibly an iPad, because then you can easily access it and log in anytime. So let me go back to the full screen so that you can see. There we go. So this is what it looks like when you log into My Care Assistant. So there are videos within My Care Assistant. There's videos here. If you click the Start Here button or this Start Here button, you can see the videos where I've broken down step by step all of the things you need. If you want to go through it with the videos, you're more than welcome to, but you should get a quite clear overview. To get you started today, I'll give you that overview. So all the videos are there for you to look at if you would like to. Now, up in the right-hand corner is a little person button. So I'll just click that one and show you what's in here. This is the user details that you would have used to sign up to My Care Assistant. So if you click Update, you can add your name, you can add further details, you can add your contact number, you can add all the different information you need, setting yourself up with the time zone, and you can even upload a profile picture. So if I just want to click and upload a picture, I can easily add a picture and submit. Okay? I'll just, Liz, you sent me a question. Yes, so Liz, you've asked about whether certificate 4, certificate 3. Yes, you will require a certificate 3. Certificate 2s don't exist, but yes, you will need to start with a certificate 3. I would imagine that would be a minimum requirement if the government does stipulate that they want people to be qualified as a certificate 3. But yes, you are correct. You do need to do the certificate 3 before you do the certificate 4. And I know it's a very expensive process. It's really not ideal. And often the qualifications are really not worth the paper they're written on, which is unfortunate as well. So yes, so you can see here, so I'd encourage you as your first thing to go into this profile, which you can see in the top right hand corner, and set yourself up with that information. I keep clicking on the wrong screen and wondering why nothing's happening. So that's you setting up your profile, and I'd encourage you to do that as your first job. The next thing I'd encourage you to do is to go into My Account. So the My Account button was in the middle, and it's also down the left-hand side. And you can either watch this again and follow through with me, or the videos are broken down into much smaller segments within the Start Here button if you'd rather go through that process. So in the My Account area, this details bit here is everything that you've written in the profile. Now, as you see here, there's a connection code. This has been generated by My Care Assistant. I'm just letting you know that that's where it is because we'll be referring to it a little bit later. So everyone has a unique connection code, but you can update the information in here if you would like to. Okay? The really fun bit, and this is the challenge, and this is the bit that I'd like you to get done, is your little bit of homework, is actually the account information side of things. So the account information is the opportunity for you to showcase your skills. So this is where you can add all of the information, all of the worker screening, all of the certificates, all of the things you've done to show that you are capable and competent in providing supports. So I've set this up with a little bit of an overview because, for example, you might have a few different skill sets. I know there's a couple of you in the group who have a few different service provisions that you're providing. So, for example, you could be a personal trainer, but and you could also be offering independent support work. So you can add this information about yourself into these boxes. So if I click into support worker, I can update it and put whatever information I want to in this box. These boxes are completely set out so that you can put whatever you want into this My Account bit. The reason why I'm suggesting you set yourself up with a My Account is when you're engaging with potential participants in the future, you can share with them your connection code and they can log in and see your credentials and decide whether or not they want to work with you. That you can share it with an auditor or a government body or somebody that wants to see that you're competent and capable. You can really showcase your skills by utilizing this account. So it's really very simple. You just add an information section. Let's say, for example, I wanted to add my insurance documents to prove that I had insurance in place. And I would write attached or whatever you wanted to add into this box and submit it. I can then go in and I can upload a file. So I can go in and add my documents in here. I'll call it insurance. I'll click the select button and I will add my PDF to the file so that anybody that I choose can go in and see that I have the skills and qualifications to do what I'm doing. I can make this live and I can show people about it, or I can keep it private for myself and just know that that's where all my documents are. Liz, you've asked, is My Care Assistant something that's been set up by the government? No, it's actually something that's been set up by me. So in my business, a large part of my success was having a software platform in place. So I am providing this platform to you guys on my program so that you can be compliant and you can streamline your business. You can reduce admin because you can see there's a lot more things available as I kind of go through the functionality with you over the next couple of weeks. So it is something that I put together because I know it is a very valuable tool for anybody who is in the disability or aged care space. So yeah, it was my beautiful husband that built this system. So if I go back to the information here, as you can see, I've put some dummy information down here, including my insurances, worker screening card. So let's have a look as an example at the worker screening card. You can see that I have uploaded a worker screening card and you can see that document in there. So you can see all of your key documents at your fingertips, and anybody who's engaging with your services can see that information as well and know that you are safe and that you are, that you're safe to work with them, because there's a lot of people out there at the moment that are not safe to be providing services. So you can showcase your skills and you can add as much information as possible. We talked about the NDIS worker module. So here, as an example, you can see the NDIS worker certificate and prove that you have done it. So you can upload all of these documents that you think is relevant into this file. We've tried to make this as user-friendly as possible, and we want it to be your own personal bit of software. So we want you to, decide what boxes you want. We want you to decide what information you want to be in there. We do explain this in the in some of the videos, that the educational videos. But let's say, for example, I thought that I wanted my insurance to be at the top of the list because I said that was the most important thing. As you can see at the moment, my insurance is number 3 on the list. So I can easily click the button, click update, and you see these numbers here. You may or may not have realized, so the sort index of 0 to 9999. So by putting that as 0, you will see, if we go back, that my insurance goes at the top of the list, because you can see 0 is attached, 0 is attached to my insurance. And then I've got 1 attached to support worker, 2 attached to personal training, and so on. So yes, you can totally change this. So Deb, you've asked, will you be talking about what insurances are required and what is the cost? I will be talking about what insurances are required, and I'll give you an overview of the cost, although I'm not an insurance broker, so you will need to, I've got a couple of recommendations of people you can reach out to. But yeah, I'll be talking a little bit later, Deborah, about the insurance side of things. So that's your account setup, and I'd really encourage you to get that done and share in the group when you've done that account setup, because you will see the opportunity and the value around setting yourself up with the account. Now, I'm going to briefly go through the kind of setting up your participants as well. So setting up people that you're currently caring for. You can click on either the button down the left-hand side, recipients, or this button here, recipients, and click in, and you can add your own recipients. So as you can see here, I've got some dummy recipients. So I've got Anne Green as a dummy recipient. And as you saw, in these boxes are all very similar. So if you want to update Anne Green, you can update her information there. If you want to add information about Anne Green, you can update her information here. So you can add recipient information. So you might start by saying, what are the risks of working with Anne? And then you can write in the risks that might be associated with Anne and submit it. You might want to add in a care plan and what you're going to be doing with Anne. And again, you can add information and submit it. If you had a document for the care plan, you can easily add that document. You can update the document, and you can go in and you can upload the file, and you can upload a care plan file. So you can write care plan in there, and you can select a file, much like you did your certificates, add that document in, and upload it. So the document is there, and you can access it and review it anytime you want to. So you can add information here. I think I've set up somebody else, and I've given, let's see if Bob's set up. Yes. So here you can see I've set Bob up, and I've put in important visit information, risks about me, important people in my life. And in this scenario, I've broken it down, what to do on Monday, what to do on Tuesday. So you can really add whatever information you want, and you can upload files. So I would suggest as well, we talked about the service agreement. This is a great place to add your service agreement. So here we can see a dummy service agreement that I have put in for Bob. So this is a great place to store all of the information. No, so Deborah's asked about privacy, and that's a great question, Deborah. So this platform is written, it's actually AWS approved and has been through all the compliance and privacy checks. So the only information I see about you is your email, who's registered with an email address. I don't see any other information. I just know people are registered in the account by an email address. I cannot access any further information. Yeah, so Liz, yes, if you're restricted, not a problem at all. I'll upgrade you after this session. So no, don't panic about that. I will give you that functionality so you can add recipients. But there are some videos, you can either watch this through at a later date and have a play, or there are some videos that probably don't waffle on quite as much as me that give you that overview. As I said earlier, do you remember how we have the number 1, the number 2, and the numbers that are going down? If you wanted about me to be at the top, just like you did in the last one, you could set that to 0. And you can see that about me is at the top. So you can move around those boxes as you wish, okay? So Carol, you've asked about policies. That's something I will be covering off, and I can help you with policies, and I will be talking about policies as we go through the next couple of weeks. So thank you very much for that question. So I've given you a brief overview of recipients. Like I say, you can just add recipients, start adding information, and go from there. The really cool stuff happens when you actually can start scheduling visits or events that you might be happening. You might be providing actual physical supports, or you might be having some type of group activities, whatever it is. So you can easily add events. So let's say Anne phoned me up and wanted me to go out and provide a visit to her tomorrow. I just click on Anne, click add events, and I'll say that she wants to go shopping tomorrow. I can add the date, and I can add the time of the visit. And then sorry, that's midnight, I think I've said it at. Let's go 11. So let's go for 11 a.m. and I can set the duration of the visit. So let's say it's a 2-hour visit, and I can add details. So the adding details, I'll go through. It's really good to kind of have a clear, maybe they want to go to X place, Y place, or Z place, so that you've got you can remember where it is they want to go if you're independent. But also, this is great if you want to. I really encourage you to collaborate with other independent support workers. So if for some reason you can't do that visit with Anne tomorrow, I hope and encourage you, and I'll talk about this in a bit more detail, to collaborate with other people. So you can put the key information needed for the visit into this box, so that you either remember yourself, or if somebody else is doing this visit, you can allocate it to them and give them all the information they need. By default, because this is set up for independent support workers, you will automatically be allocated. Whoever has this access to recipients will automatically be allocated to the visit. But if you do have a micro business, you can allocate a connected support worker. And I'll go through that in a little bit more detail. So if somebody else is doing that visit, you can allocate them. If you are just an independent worker, just leave it by default as it is, and that will be in your diary. So if I look here as an example at the calendar, and I look at my calendar, I can see in the calendar that tomorrow I'm going shopping with Anne Green, and I can either look at that on a day-by-day basis. So I can look at tomorrow, and I can see there's Anne, and I can click through and see the information I need for her visit. Or I might look at, sorry, I've gone back too far, or I might look at a week and see what's happening across my current week. But I can also see things like if I've got clashes. So I can see, oh, geez, I booked Anne in and I can't go to Anne because I've already booked Bob in. So I can go to that one, see, I'll give Anne a phone call and see if I can change that number, change that time, so that I'm not double booked. So it's a great way of managing your time effectively, so that not only are you managing compliance, but you're managing your own workload as well. So that's a little bit of an overview of how to set up. So I've shown you how to set up your recipients. I've shown you how to set up the calendar. So remember how I talked earlier about, remember in the My Account, I could show you the connection code. If you do want to link with other people, and I know for sure that this will probably be of interest to Luke, it might be of interest to others of you who are connecting with other people, what all you need to do is, let's say, I'll use Luke as my example. Let's say this is Luke's account, and he has a micro business with a couple of other workers, and he gets this phone call and organizes the visit that we've got for Anne, that's for tomorrow, and he wants to allocate it to somebody else. He just needs to get that other person to sign up for a free My Care Assistant account. So Deborah, you're asking about the cost. I will get it. It's really going to be a very, very minimal cost for the person that is going to be set up with the recipients. So it will be 36 $36 a month plus GST, but there's going to be a lot more that you will get for that $36 a month as well, if you want to set up. And you can then connect with other people. So if you connect with another individual, you can allocate that visit. So if I click on here on the linked recipients, sorry, of which we don't have any, connections, sorry, not linked recipients, go to connections, and you can see the other support workers that you've got set up in your group. So I'm not going to go into this in big detail today. There is a video that explains it much better than I am at the moment, but you can easily use your code to connect with other members of staff or people involved in the care. But I'll go through that in quite a bit more detail on another day, but I just want you to be aware of how you can connect. So the types of people you can connect with are other workers, you could connect with family members, you can connect with causes, you can connect with plan managers, you could connect with LACs. So those people can be connected for free, and they can see whatever information you choose for them to see. So as you can see in this example, I have chosen that the linked person, John Brown, who I've set up as a support worker, I'm saying he doesn't have full access to the information, but he can see core information, he can add notes, he can attend visits, and he can view all events for the recipient. So you can absolutely, you can set exactly what the person sees at the other end. I see your question, Liz. I will respond to it in just one moment. So that by adding the connections, people can see for free the key information in relation to that individual. So great for family members that just want to check in and see what's going on. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So let's go back to recipients and my recipients. And now if we went to that visit with Anne Green, and I was a little bit concerned about something, let's just add this as a welfare title. Sorry, as a topic. This is a welfare topic. So any changes in Anne's well-being, please record for family to monitor, as an example. So this is the really cool bit. So we've got a welfare topic here, as you can see. And if I want to add a comment about Anne and my visit, I could say, concerned today and very tearful. And whatever progress notes I might need to add for Anne, I can add those into the topic under Anne. And I can also do multiple topics. So I might do a topic about a goal of getting to the shops. I might do a goal about kind of challenging behaviors, or increasing independence, or whatever topic I might want. I can add that topic in for Anne, so that this is great for when you do plan reviews, or if people ask for progress notes and information, you can just gather all of the information in relation to Anne as you by going into My Care Assistant. So you don't need to be using any type of documents, you don't need to be trying to find the file, you don't need to be managing confidentiality and thinking, where have I stored it, is it all okay? you can just add the notes, and you can go in and you can keep adding information on welfare. So I talked about how you could connect with other people. So let's say, for example, Anne's mother had access to this. She might decide to go in and reply and say, thanks for letting me know, or please do X next time. So people can have oversight. So this could be family members, it could be other providers involved in the care, and it's a bit like a text message. You can see the trail of information that's been going on in relation to this individual. Let's say you're concerned about welfare. Sorry, let me just, and you want to add another comment, and you want to say, noticed a bruise on left leg, as an example. You can actually upload an image as well. So you can take a picture of that bruise, and you can store that picture for anybody to see. So you've got that record and that information about whatever it is, whatever that image might be. And let's say, excuse me, let's say a nurse was involved in the care. So I just need a little bit of water. They can add a response, in the wrong one. They can add a response to say, please monitor, please do this, please do that, please do the other. So it's a really great place, and you can see on the right-hand side who's connected and who's involved in the care of Anne Green. So it's a really great place to collaborate and make sure you're providing person-centered services and you're getting the best outcomes for your participants, for the people that you're supporting. So Liz, you've asked me the question, is the $36 per month so you can set up other recipients? So no, so the free package gives you these bits, but it just gives you that you can be connected for free, but you cannot set up recipients. So if you want to set up recipients, then it is $36 per month plus GST. If you are wanting just to view only, or you're wanting to be connected, so if you're wanting to connect family members or causes or other people involved in the care, then that is completely free. So can you record file notes for recipients? Absolutely, you can record file. Are you talking more about progress notes, Liz, or is that what you mean by file notes? If you're talking about progress notes, you just absolutely add, go back, you can just add the topic progress notes, if I could type right, and then record daily, and then you could just write that as progress notes, and you can, yes, absolutely, Liz. So yes, so you can have progress notes, and you can keep your progress notes. You can have links that relate to goal setting, so you're just saying, you might fill in a progress note about the first part of the visit, and then the second part of the visit might be relating to a goal that you're working towards. So you then write all the information in relation to the goal, because quite often when you're writing notes, you're writing the progress information and little bits of information as a kind of an information or an overview of what was done. But then when you're having to sift through that, when it comes to a plan review and prove and demonstrate what you've been doing in relation to the goals, then you can do that. You might as well want to add a topic in relation to things like risks. So there might be risk of falling as an example. And it might be, please do X, Y, Z to reduce the risk of falling. And then you can submit that. And then you can add comments, another fall today, X happened, Y happened, Z happened, and what you're going to be doing in relation to managing that risk. So it really can be used in so many different ways in relation to the participants that you're supporting. So that I've given you the main overview of My Care Assistant. I know there's been a lot of information in the overview. please reach out in the group if you have any further questions in relation to My Care Assistant and setting yourself up. As you've asked about the cost of My Care Assistant. What I'm going to be doing is, if you're interested in My Care Assistant and if you're interested in working with me ongoing, I'm actually going to be bundling in ongoing support with me that encompasses both My Care Assistant and ongoing coaching with Helen. So you will be able to not only have education with me on a weekly basis, but you'll also have access to My Care Assistant. And yes, it's really not going to be for very much money at all per month. So there you go. You only need the one paid account. So if you're allocating work to somebody else, then they just access it for free. They sign up for a free account so they can attend visits, do work, record notes, all of those types of things if that's what you choose. Or you can have it as read-only for maybe family members or somebody like that, for external people or stakeholders that want to read the information. But I'm more than happy to kind of nut this out in a little bit more detail within the group so you're all clear on what support you'd be getting if you're wanting to sign up for My Care Assistant moving forward. And as I said, I'm bundling that in with kind of a subscription group where for your money you get My Care Assistant and you also get that support from me on a week-by-week basis. So yeah. So going back to my overview, what I will do is I will share with you these slides so that if people like something visual to go through, I've given you the step-by-steps to doing what we've just talked about. So go into My Care Assistant, update your account information, add the services you provide, upload relevant documents. And if you'd rather go through and watch a video to do that, you can watch the videos there as well. So that's just a little visual cue, but I will share that within the group so everyone has got it. So that's pretty much been my overview. I would really love for you to set yourselves up within My Care Assistant, and as I'm sure you can see, the compliance and the functionality within My Care Assistant is really invaluable. So you can not only update your account information, you can add the services you can provide, you can upload your relevant documentation, you can set up recipients, you can organize your schedule so that you're going to recipients, you can organize all of the information in relation to the system. And the really cool thing is that in the next couple of months, we will have the functionality that you will be able to, the visits that you've done will be downloaded so you can add them into your invoice. So if you've done a 4-hour visit, you can then download that information and upload it into a invoice template. So it will actually even take the paperwork out of the invoicing step as well. So that functionality is going to be coming in the next couple of months as well. And if you sign up with the $36 a month, you will get that. If I put the price up in the future, you won't be affected by that price going up. So, because I know that that's going to be a really cool function when it's in there as well. And I know this is still very early days with My Care Assistant. There's so many fun things we can do with it. So you guys are really in the beginning stages of seeing the functionality. And I know there's a lot more fun things that we're going to be adding into My Care Assistant in the not too distant future. So the steps from today. So if you are still in that want to become independent support worker, your steps today are to make sure that you have all of the things in place to be safe and be compliant. So your ABNs, your relevant insurances, your relevant experience qualification, your worker e-learning, and your worker screening. Deborah, I thought I'd put it into this slide, but you asked about the insurances. So you do need the public, I'd recommend you have the public and professional liability insurances. Now, I did a little bit of Googling. The amounts do seem to vary quite a bit. And if anybody's got great insurance and a great insurer they would like to share with the group, by all means do so. I do have a great lady that I've connected with, and I spoke to her several days ago, and I would really recommend speaking to her and shopping around a little bit as well. She was suggesting to me, and I really liked what she was saying to me. She was talking about actually making sure that you are safe and have the right insurances in place. So she was suggesting, depending on the scope of what you're doing, that realistically you'd probably be talking at around the $500 to $700 mark for both lots of insurance. But as I said, I'm not an insurance broker. You are able to shop around. And I know that within that insurance, there will be ongoing kind of month, you'll be able to pay for that. It won't be a lump sum. You'll be able to set yourself up with kind of like on a month by month basis to pay for the insurance. But yes, I did do a little bit of research. I saw one place that was $400. That was online. I just went through a online form and filled in a basic bit of information, and that said $400. But I personally would probably go with somebody that I could actually have a conversation with, explain what it is I'm doing so that they can give you the right insurance. So possibly as little as awesome. So Liz is saying that she's with BizCover. And that thank you for sharing that, Liz. And I will share the contact that I have if you'd like to have a conversation with Paulina and find out from her what type of insurance is most appropriate for you and what you're doing. Now the other thing as well is, so if you set yourself up as an independent support worker, make sure you do those things. And I would really encourage you to get in there, get yourself set up with My Care Assistant, update your account information, add the services you provide, load your relevant documents. And if you're getting stuck, please just watch the videos. They are all within My Care Assistant. And you get extra points if you watch the videos and add your care recipients and let us know. You can block out any names or any confidential information, but you get extra brownie points if you demonstrate that you've set up your recipients in the into My Care Assistant. Because I'm talking about extra brownie points, because whoever engages the most in the next couple of weeks and whoever shows the best outcomes and shows the best effort in relation to putting my ideas into practice, I will be providing a 1-hour free coaching session to that person. So I'd really encourage you to engage as well. I'm going to see if I can come off. I don't know whether I can unshare my screen, but that's pretty much my key stuff for today. Let's see. I don't know how to unshare my screen and just for you guys to see me. I'm really sorry you haven't been able to see my face today, but I will try and ensure that you do see my face on Thursday. And please, if you have any questions after this live, if you actually just post them into this group, that's probably the easiest thing in relation to this topic, because then everyone can know that because we've got 3 different topics that are going through the next week. So even after today, even after this session, and even after I finish, the opportunity to write comments will still be there within this group. So please keep typing comments and information in there. If you do have questions, please share them within the group. I am here to help. I'm asking you to share them in the group because there will be other people in the group that will also have that same, probably want those same answers that you've got, because I'm here to help you be compliant, which is what we've done today. We've done the boring stuff today. So set yourself up for success. And then I'll also be helping you on Thursday to set yourself up so you're ready to find those ideal clients. And then the following Tuesday, I'll be helping you to really engage with those clients and close the deals, get them signed up so that you're providing services to them. Because I know by following these simple steps, not only will you manage all the headaches and all the admin within your business, but you'll also thrive and grow, and you'll sleep easy because you're doing everything in your power to be safe and compliant within your business. So Thank you for those viewers. Thank you for staying through. We've been just over an hour. It's been really great that you've been here engaged in the live. Thank you for taking the time out. I know you're all super busy, and I really look forward to catching up with you all when we go live on Thursday. Have a great rest of your Monday. Thanks, Tina. Have a great day. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.